Picture the activity in your brain like the water in rivers and streams, with electrical impulses flowing in many directions. In the narrow streams, the flow is laminar, while the rivers are wide and have turbulent flow. In fluid dynamics, laminar flow describes a regular and predictable motion, whereas turbulent flow is irregular and chaotic. Similarly, when using electroencephalography to record brain activity, we see regular and irregular components. Periodic activity is orderly and predictable like laminar flow. Also called neural oscillations, the activity generated by groups of neurons firing at specific frequencies is categorized into frequency bands. These are associated with specific brain states and functions. Aperiodic activity, on the other hand, is chaotic and unpredictable like turbulent flow. However, it has certain properties which gives it the additional names 1 over f slope and scale-free activity. 1 over f explains the inverse relation between frequency and power because low frequencies have more power and high frequencies have less power, and scale-free activity describes how these statistical features remain consistent across different scales like time. Returning to our comparison, laminar flow can only occur under certain conditions like narrow space, low speed, and high viscosity. Therefore, most fluid flow is turbulent. Possibly reflecting this, there are over twice as many publications on turbulent flow than on laminar flow in physics research. So what about in neuroscience? Well, periodic activity and aperiodic activity are like two sides of a coin. They are just different components of brain activity. However, as aperiodic activity is more complex, it might be expected that it is more thoroughly investigated. That said, there are actually 50 to 100 times more publications focused on periodic activity than the aperiodic component. For many decades, this difference was even greater as aperiodic activity was disregarded as insignificant noise that needed to be filtered to reveal the more useful neural oscillations. That was until scientists like Bradley Wojtek and others began to uncover their importance. Wojtek and his group developed new tools to isolate and analyze these different components of brain activity, leading to new studies revealing the so-called noise is far from meaningless and holds useful information. For example, aperiodic activity can help detect neurological and psychiatric conditions. It can identify Parkinson's disease, dementia, and depression. Across these studies, a steeper aperiodic slope indicating stronger power in slow frequencies and weaker power in faster ones was consistently observed. Some studies even describe aperiodic activity as a brain signature that can identify individuals with high accuracy and helps differentiate subtypes and stages of diseases, making it a valuable tool for personalized medicine. Beyond supporting diagnosis, aperiodic activity can also determine prognosis by predicting how effective treatments will be. In depression, therapies like magnetic seizure therapy and electroconvulsive therapy increase aperiodic activity and correlate with symptom relief. Other research has looked into physiological factors that influence aperiodic brain activity. For instance, bodily rhythms like breathing cause fluctuations in aperiodic activity, and this may have implications for neurological and psychiatric diseases. Additionally, the normal process of aging also leads to aperiodic activity changes. There are rapid changes across infancy, and the brain becomes noisier throughout aging, and these insights may help us understand development in aging. Returning to our comparison with physics, turbulence is more researched because it is prevalent and complex. However, in terms of interest, laminar flow dominates searches online, possibly due to its simplicity and visual appeal. This preference could also apply to neuroscience, where periodic signals have historically received more attention. But just as turbulence and disorder are fundamental and present throughout the universe due to the law of entropy, we should also consider how this applies to the brain. By limiting our focus to neural oscillations, we are looking at the tip of an iceberg while ignoring the rest underwater. In the words of Dr. Albert St. Georgi, research is to see what everybody has seen and to think what nobody has thought. So by beginning more research on aperiodic activity, we open doors to new discoveries and a deeper understanding of the most complex system we know.